Hey, good to see ya. Come on in, make yourself comfortable. Drop in with me for a spell. We are doing a collective read. This is for everybody, no matter what your sign is, but we are going to be reading mutable energy. I'm bringing this in this way because I feel like there's a need to understand that we all operate with these different energies at different times, and we all move through these energies because of the astrological transits and everything that is flowing out with the moon's phases and such. So really, we all need to know how to work with this energy. Now, when we're looking at the mutable signs, we're of course looking at Virgo, and it is Virgo season, and we got Virgo bringing in a new moon that really is falling the day before fall equinox, and it is coming in such a way that it's very much on that point of the cusp. And it's interesting because that particular new moon is mirroring the Libra new moon that comes in on the 21st, also on the cusp of Scorpio later in October. So this is going to be real potent portal of initiation we're moving through, but what we're moving out of is the shadow of all that Plutonian territory, so we can move into more of the revolutionary side of the Pluto energy that will be ushered in with Libra new moon that comes in on the 21st. Now, the Virgo new moon that's coming in just a few days here is going to be a partial solar eclipse. So there's certain details that we can't see, and the mutable energy is very much at the forefront of the collective consciousness at this time because of what we got going on with Mercury, all right? So I want to begin first by saying, please pay attention to where you have your Mercury placement in your chart. What house is it in? What sign is it in? You want to pay a lot of attention to that right now because that's where all the action is going down for you, okay? We will be doing individual sign reads for all of you, okay? Quest reads. But first, we're going to go through the collective energy so we know how to move through this territory, because this is a critical juncture as we're making our way through this portal that opens up with that Virgo new moon and culminates with the Libra new moon. And the Libra new moon, all lights on in the room, okay? So there won't be any eclipse energy connected to that whatsoever, all right? So different territory we're moving into, really closing out the old cycles with the cardinal energy front and center. We do have Aries hosting that Hunter's moon, and that's going to be a super moon. And there are no eclipses connected to that either. So bringing in the light and sort of passing on the baton too, because we have to remember that Aries and Libra were respectively holding down the North Node, South Node positions before Pisces and Virgo took that territory over. So see, it's all really flowing into one another. But we know Gemini shares with Virgo that Mercury as a ruler. So Gemini, you're really at the forefront right now. Your energy is definitely running the show at this time and keeping us on our toes, I have to say. You know, Mercury is a winged messenger, so there is a lot coming in from the ether. There's a lot we're pulling down from the ether. Make sure that as you're pulling down, you're also getting hunkered down, okay? Make sure you're indulging in grounding activities, whether that's making yourself a real nourishing, warm meal, you know, something that kind of sticks to your ribs, or whether you're going out and spending some time forest bathing, just feeling a connection to your roots, or whether you're giving yourself extra space, time to rest. I'm going to make sure I'm kind of winding down. Earlier tonight, I've been riding the ether myself because there's just so many downloads coming in right now. I'm sure you're all feeling it. I'm sure you're all picking up that energy. It is a collective shared energy. All right. So yes, make sure you're rooting it all. Don't let it carry you off with the wind, so to speak. And then, of course, we got the other two mutable signs. We got Sagittarius. We got Pisces up in that North Node position. There's a lot going on with Pisces, too. So let's talk about it, all right? I want to just touch base first. I'm going to get a sort of like an overarching theme, but looking through the lens of what is the medicine needed at this time. And I say that because on the 16th, so just a couple days ago, we had Mercury, Keen 6, Chiron, and we're going to have Keen 6 coming in with the North Node on the 28th of this month, okay? So when we're looking at Mercury, Keen 6, Chiron, we're already moving through this energy. We're looking at the wounded healer, and we're also looking at our deepest wounds of the self and how to navigate that territory. So try to be gentle with people, okay? Don't be harsh. Everybody is moving through some pretty heavy stuff right now. We're closing up major karma cycles. And it's good. I mean, it's work that needs to be done, but people are a little bit touchy right now. So you have to be prepared for that. Today, on the 18th, we had Mercury move into Libra, where it's going to remain until October 6th. So now communications are going to take on a much different tone. There's going to be a lot of communication around relationships. Also, how do you share your voice within relationship? How do you respect the relationship without losing your own voice in the relationship? Okay, so a lot to navigate there, and also communicating from a place of empowerment rather than communicating from our wounds. But in order to get there, we might need to navigate some of that territory along the way. Be prepared for that. But if we do, there's so much wealth that comes through. There's also success and an abundance of flow coming in here as well. Look at that. We have the Mercury energy coming in with Jupiter right there. Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, you're all at the forefront with this message. And this is really about a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge that you can share with others, that you can maybe even act as a guide a bit because you've already navigated quite a bit of this territory. This is also something that won't just open up those storehouses of wealth, but also material wealth as well. This is when you can achieve success, but you have to be mindful of the way you're communicating. Especially if you're in the field of communications at this time, you want to make sure that you're mindful of how you're putting your message out there. Are people going to be able to receive what you're saying? You do want to have a little bit of awareness around the sort of touchy territory that everybody's moving through at this time. We've been seeing this recently, you know. There's people who've gone on social media with everything that happened with Charlie Kirk. And they've made some less than, savory opinions evident, and they lost their jobs, okay? So there is a price to be paid at this time for how you're coming across. Make sure you're communicating from your heart as much as you can, even when it's challenging. And if you don't know how to do that, a good place to start is when you're speaking. Just put your hands on your heart, okay? It helps. It really does help. It makes you kind of connect with that space before you let certain words fly out of your mouth. And, if you're posting on social media too, go ahead and, take a moment. If you need to, you can type it out. You can always delete it. You don't need to actually hit post. I've done that before, okay? Sometimes you really want to get it out like that, and then you can kind of observe it for a moment, sit with it for a moment before you fire it off, okay? Because you don't want to create a situation where there's like irrevocable damage, right? That could happen at this time. Yesterday, we had Mercury trine the Moon, Uranus, and Pluto with an opposition to Saturn. Ouch. Yeah, emotions hitting us out of left field, old stuff, deep stuff that's our deepest wound. Also a lot of shadowy stuff coming to the surface. And feeling really kind of boxed in, not feeling the kind of flow we want to feel, which is challenging, man, when you're moving through mutable territory. Today we also have Mercury opposition to Neptune, right? So Pisces is really feeling this, all right? Pisces is really, really feeling this. I think this is really interesting with this opposition going down though, because Mercury is at 0 degrees Libra today, all right? And also Neptune is 0 degrees Aries today. So that's the beginning point. A new journey begins here. What's going down right now, it really is relevant because it's playing a major role in how we will progress as we move through this portal of initiation that will lead us up to that Libra new moon on the 21st. I'm going to go ahead and just talk about all this while we get these cards out. Let's see what this is though. I'm going to have a look at this first because this fell away. Motherwort, strength, number 13, Scorpio energy, the death. How do I give birth on the other side of this death? Look at the Venusian energy, front and center. You have the strength to do this. Some of you may be feeling like you want to throw in the towel. Okay, you may be feeling like, I've had all that I can stand and I can't stand no more, man. I don't think I have the strength for this. You do, okay? You do. By the time we reach the close of October, you will see the strength is totally sourced from your heart. This is about looking at strength in a new way. This is about understanding that softness is strength. It is your empowerment at this time. Sensitivity is your empowerment at this time, coming from the heart and being unguarded and open. That is strength, okay? So don't look at it as forcing your way through. This is about softening, 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 softening. So whenever you're feeling kind of tense, just maybe even say that word to yourself, soften, 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 soften. It's about letting go. It's about letting go. Remember, we're heading into the fall season. I mean, right after that new moon that we got coming in that partial solar eclipse with Virgo, we are moving into Libra season on the 22nd, and it is the fall equinox. So there's this balancing point there. There's a recalibration point there where everything is in equal measure. Equal light, equal dark. Okay, so we're at the center point. There's something to really understand that comes through there, a center balancing point. You can stay in this place of openness, in that center balancing point. That's where your strength is. It's not about getting ahead of yourself. It's not about having it all figured out at that time. Okay, the moon will be conjunct Mercury on fall equinox. Okay, so there's a real kind of alignment point there of the inner with the outer, right? Because we have those scales that are weighing everything out at that time. That's a wonderful point of balance. So a wonderful day for reflection, right? Reflection on the cycles of life, reflections on the cycles that you're moving through. These cycles, maiden, mother, crone. We move through these cycles with the moon. New moon is the maiden phase, and as it's waxing, it's moving into the mother phase, and then we reach that culmination point with the full moon, right? The full moon is going to be coming in Aries, the hunter's moon, in October. It's a pivotal point. It aligns with the Stargate, all right? It comes in on the 17th. It's an important portal of manifestation. It's also the illumination of what we couldn't see with all the eclipse energy that was going down in Aries last year and Libra. Okay, so we're closing up that cycle. Now there's illumination there. There's illumination there. So that's kind of the giving birth moment. It's suddenly a new awareness, a new consciousness about what's possible now on the other side of what we couldn't see back there. And a lot of that's also going to be informed by the healing work we're doing, all that subconscious stuff that we're making conscious at this time. So this is important work we're doing. And then we move into the crone phase as we head into the waning cycle. leading up to that point of the Libra new moon, okay? So honor your cycles at this time. Give yourself space to just drop in with what you're feeling. Maybe take up a meditative practice. Some people have a hard time just sitting in meditation. It's difficult for them. You don't have to meditate by sitting back straight, oming it out, gazing up at your third eye. I mean, it's wonderful if you want to take up a practice like that. I highly recommend it. At least explore it, because there's a lot you learn about where you're at when you just try to sit still in silence for even a few minutes. It will really show you the busyness of your thoughts, how antsy the energy is. That's why a lot of people resist it, but it is a discipline of sorts. And there's a lot you can learn by that straightening through fire at this time. It's the tempering energy. It's a balance of knowing when to have the discipline and when to soften, okay? There is a middle way through, and meditation is a middle way through, because even though there is that tempering sort of honing the focus and active sort of, it's passively active. You know what I mean? It brings that fire elemental forward, but in a very focused way that allows you to really see what's going on there. So it's essential, yeah, bottom of the deck energy, because there's a lot we're processing here. And it has everything to do with love. Okay, Rose is a good ally at this time. Rose is anti-inflammatory, it's cooling, it's also the highest frequency. It's attuned to the highest frequency. It brings in a softening quality. And this is all about getting to the other side of what was lost, what was sacrificed through having to grasp the thorns. But see, there's new growth that comes in here. There's love that comes in here. And that will be very evident by the time we get to that full Hunter's Moon later in October. We'll see what comes through there that really gets us moving toward the North Node and activating that cauldron of Dagda energy. We all have to make it, man. And we're looking at 12th house energy here, hangman energy here, whatever's been sort of hung up there, balancing out the karma, working through our blind spots. Suddenly we can set that ship sailing by light of the moon, okay? But it's going to take some time, and it's going to take a lot of love, all right? We have to be patient with this process, all right? Let's see what we got coming in here. Ooh, yeah, powerful energy. Wow, very powerful energy. It's not messing around. You see, I was wondering if this would come out. We got it right there. The Wounded Healer, Chiron, coming out with number 53. So 8, you do have the strength to move through this energy. Of course, we got Centaur energy associated with Chiron. So Sagittarius, you know, you're really connected to this. And we have the Jupiter energy there. It's like the wound is where the light gets through. We hear this all the time, but it's also, the wound is where the blessings come through as well. There's like strengths, empowerments, gifts, and magic that come through the wound. It really is true. A lot of musing magic that comes through this. Also, we have Jupiter is hanging out in a cardinal sign in the house of Cancer. So there's a lot that can be nurtured here. There is a lot that is actively transforming here with the Merkaba energy. There are seeds that will be set on the winds of change that come in at this time that will have long-lasting effect. We got the flower of life here coming to bloom. If you are working with meditation, I've really been picking this up, that working with the flower of life, it's sacred geometry, but almost working with the flower of life, like envisioning the center of the flower of life, like a point of focus, planting your seed there, like whatever your intention is, you can see it going into the center of that flower of life, and then watching it sort of spread the light throughout the flower of life. And you can let that flower of life even expand beyond you, expand beyond the earth itself, expand all throughout the cosmos. And if you really want to go far out with it, man, connect it to Linnea Kea, because Linnea Kea is like where that great attractor light source energy is coming from. It's the only active light source that's out there in the multiverse. And I'll tell you, I've been connecting to that source because I feel like that's where the creative power is. And, you know, the great attractor download is coming in again. It's an old download. I bring it in from time to time. It's coming in again. I'm not going to go into that too much, but I really feel that we can tap into that progressive light building force by connecting with the great attractor. And to do that may seem kind of odd because there's a lot that's mysterious about the great attractor. But I feel there's a certain beauty in that because we are moving into unknown territory as we head into the age of Aquarius. And so why not work with that energy? We don't know what it is. We don't know what's going on. Is it a black hole? We don't know. Could it be another dimension of reality? It could be. It could be anything. We don't know. We can't see that far into space with the technology we have. We only know stuff's going down in that sector of the multiverse. We only know that all the galaxies are drifting in that direction by some magnetic force. Okay, so maybe it's trying to clue us in like, hey, this is where the action's going down. So I've been noticing when I've been working on that level, I see a lot shifting and manifesting in my material reality. So you may think I'm crazy, but you know what? I'm not the only one because there's other people out there doing this kind of work. And if you do tap in, you will notice stuff is happening like instantaneously, okay? Instantaneously. And I'm seeing dandelion here, and dandelion is very special to fairy too. So kind of as above, so below. We got that rainbow of transformation coming in there. And it makes me think of the elven star, and it makes me think of the elven star and the direction of Venus, and that is connected to the rainbow dragon that carries messages of justice and love and victory over that which would try to extinguish the light. And I'm picking up that energy pretty strongly too. So as much as we're connecting to the ether at this time, do connect with the earth, because I feel like, you know, the fairy realm and all of those earth energies are very active at this time. Kachina medicine active at this time. Kachina medicine is always active at those in-between places between the inhalation that comes in the spring and the exhalation that comes in the fall. There's very special magic in those spaces of the equinoxes, right? So this coming in, and you do have this strength, okay? You do have the strength to find the light in your wound, and there's so many blessings that are going to come through. There's so much transformation coming through, but this is powerful energy. It's not little energy, this mutable energy we're moving through right now. We got 50 ayahuasca rebirth coming in here. We're all heading through this initiatory portal here. All right, so a lot to integrate, and a lot that cannot be articulated with words. This is the shedding of old skin. It's also the releasing of trauma. And we definitely have the energies of Neptune and Jupiter coming in here. So Pisces, this energy coming in quite strongly for you. Also, we got Hierophant energy here with 5. Taurus, very strongly coming in as well in relation to this. And that makes me think of the opposite side of Taurus. We're looking at Scorpio. Okay, so there's this fixed quality that needs to unravel, that needs to come undone. We have to shed the old skin like the serpent does, associated with Scorpio. And that is that quality of mutability that we're moving through. but there's these fixed places that are quite challenged by this that we all have. And the way that we can be better supported in moving through that stargate, which is what's on the other side once we reach the Libra new moon on the 21st of October, is by uniting our forces, you could say, with the anima mundi, which is the world soul. It's that animated quality of all we experience elementally here. Coming in with the number 6. Hello, Gemini, the choice, or the lovers. Sometimes the choice between lovers as well, all right? There is a yes here. There is a way through coming in, especially with that Hierophant energy, because when we look through the lens of the major arcana, whenever you have the Hierophant show up, it is a yes. Something is a yes here. Yes, you have the strength, and yes, there is some new beginning coming in here on the other side of everything that you've been processing. Coming through with dragon's blood, so you might want to do a little smoke cleansing with dragon's blood. It's a lovely rooted resin, but it also has a lot of magic connected to it too. So it's coming in as an ally at this time. And life path energies that might really be rocking and rolling with this. I want to bring that energy in because it's speaking to me. Life path 4, life path 6, life path 5, and life path 8. You all may really be feeling these energies. Also, these dates may be of great significance. The 6th through the 8th of October, as well as the 13th, all right? And that's leading up to the start. 13th is the start of the 3rd decanate of Libra, okay? So a lot of action going down. Once we hit that 3rd decanate of Libra, prepare. That's when we're entering the rebirth energy, all right? You got to get ready. You got to soften to be able to bring this through, though, okay? You can't, if you're really in this intractable place. And what wants to come through? The love. Don't you want to see? Don't you want to see what's on the other side of the offering? Don't you want to see what's on the other side of the thorns? On the other side of what's been pruned? I mean, there's love, there's some kind of peace, there's some kind of beautiful energy coming in here. Got the energy of the moon and Venus, okay? Big Libra energy at this time around this, but certainly reflections of Taurus, because last year we had Taurus hanging out in the North Node. No, not last year. Not last year. That was before Libra. So yeah, it's echoes, okay? It's echoes that are reverberating back. We were integrating all that stuff when we had Aries in the North Node, Libra in the South Node. So you see why I'm bringing in the collective energy like this, because especially in relation to the cardinal signs and the mutable signs, there's a lot of fusion that is happening right now. But there's still echoes of when Taurus was hanging out in the North Node and Scorpio was in the South Node. Why? Because of that Pluto opposition energy with the trine with Mercury, all right, that came in yesterday. Got the moon and Uranus hanging out there. So there may be unexpected outcomes from what you thought would go down back then, back when Taurus was in the North Node. And that goes back, that goes back a few years, okay? Few years for that. So a lot shifting here. It's 2021, 2022. How things turn out when all this comes through with the Libra new moon is going to be quite different than you anticipated back there, okay? So it's still echoes of fixed energy playing out. We'll tap into those echoes when I do the fixed collective download. Let's see, this is an interesting energy, I feel, with the mutable energy signature, because there's really this fusion happening right now with the mutable and the cardinal. And it has to be that way in order to bring about this birth. All right, let me do a cut of the deck here. And we'll get some more details coming in. Yes, see, we're preparing for the hunt. We're preparing for the hunt. We're just entering that cauldron. And this is coming in with a Neptunian energy with Saturn hanging out there. Okay, so you see, it's like, yeah, we do have the mutability, but we also got that cardinal energy right there. That there's certain things that we have to be mindful of as we work with this energy, because it's a lot of power that we hold. Dragonfly medicine coming in here, so a lot of dream time energy at the forefront. What's important to remember about dragonfly medicine, though, is it's not just being able to enter that dream time and work with that Neptunian energy in a positive way. In the shadow aspect, which we do have to be mindful of because of the Plutonian signature that is very much present, there can be illusions, and that's where the cardinal energy comes in to help us sort of ground out and temper that energy a little bit. All right, we are going through changes here, but these changes are a vehicle forward, coming through with the energy signature of 34, breaking down to 7. It's going to move us forward in our relationships, but it's also going to move us forward in terms of the Chariot arriving on the scene. We have to change if we want things to rearrange who we are and who we're gonna be, right? We can't stay the same. We have to flow with these changes. Do you see? That's the key. It aligns us with our North Node here. We have to enter that portal of transformation. So this is where the hunt begins. And as we are shape-shifting, we have to be aware that when you're in that in-between place, you know, you haven't quite become the other thing yet. You know, sometimes the shadow can prevail and color the landscape. And if we get attached to that, it can really warp the way our manifestations come through, right? So you really have to be able to hold these qualities of shadow and light in equal balance. But I think the Libra energy will help very much with that. All right. There is a lot coming in here. And there's also some beautiful connection points. I see that, right? So a lot is shape-shifting, transforming, and it does require your focus. But woo, look at that Magician energy. Brand new cycle here. Like I said, you're going to be surprised what comes through. There is magic on offer here, and it truly is magical out there right now. If you're getting out in the elements, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Manifestations are coming through thick and fast with ginseng coming in here. Again, you have the strength. There's a lot coming through here related to roots, man. I'm noticing that. All right, so work with your roots, all right? Ginseng is a good root to work with. Good root to work with, you know? Also, not only will it give strength, but ginseng's also really good for, you know, activating the memory as well. Consider what has been manifested in previous goes around the wheel here. You want to call in the sweetness of the bloom, but look at this. I do see there's 2 roses here, and it's rooted for 2. There is a way to bring this through. Look at that staff you're carrying there. It's really the Virgoan energy too. I see it, you know, coming through as that wise wizard that knows the way through, knows how to steer the course up to the North Node. Got, you know, that archetype of the hermit hanging out in the South Node through Virgo right now. And there are stars aligning here. I think it's really going to surprise people. We do have to remember with this energy that Jupiter is hanging out in Cancer, where it's exalted. So there's blessings to go around for everybody. But you got to be able to believe in the magic, okay? Just be able to believe that the most wonderful thing could happen too. Don't stay so focused on what's harsh, man. And I know that can be difficult to do, especially with the kind of landscape we're moving through and the dystopian themes we see all around us. But that's how you're being sort of tempered here. That's how your metal's being tested. Can you move through that territory where it really looks like it's all going to shit? And can you look at it and go, yeah, but it takes shit to make the flowers grow. It takes shit to make those flowers grow. All right, there's something to that. Gemini energy also coming in with the Magician here, but we know there's a way through. There's a Wheel of Fortune. Sagittarian energy, everything transforms when? With that Hunter's Moon. Coming in with the energy of 40 there. 4 brings gifts, magical gifts. Emperor on the scene. We step into empowerment. We step into the empowerment of love. We get to see what's on the other side of what we thought was lost. There's actually growth here. Unexpected growth. Unexpected blessings coming through. Really good energy. I like it. I like it. I think it's very positive. Let's see some elemental influence here for this mutable energy. How it's going to be expressing itself, working with the Infinite Tarot. It's 3622 when I brought that in. So yeah, 9, Virgo. Virgo energy, really a power point, okay? We have to look at that. Virgo energy shows you the best way to move into this mutable territory, right? It's all about your work, your focus, your routine. Those are good grounding points. Those are good landing points. People often underestimate how grounding it can be just to have like a steady practice or a sort of flow to your day, something that can anchor you. So look at creating anchoring points. What's on the bottom of the deck here? 10 of fire. Look at that. Look at that. We got some sunflower energy there. We got that big sun in the center. Yeah, keep your focus on the bright side of life. That's what I'm hearing. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. Keep your focus on the bright side of life because there is bounty on offer here. Look at the yellow brick road. Yellow brick road coming through as a rainbow. You're going to find the strength. You're going to find the courage. You're going to find the brains, the wits it's going to take to move ahead towards your blessing and your bounty. How? Through the heart. You have the power all along to obtain these fields of dreams. These fields of dreams coming in with the sun. You're almost on the other side of it. I know you've been working really hard. Coming in with 10 of fire. All right. May have felt overwhelming at times. You may have felt the heat. You may have felt the pressure at times. It's okay. You're going to really discover it's been worth it once you see where you land. Open up that Sagittarian optimism so you can receive your blessings. And this is why you may want to develop a character. You may want to role play a bit, all right? Who would you be if you have not a care in the world? Try it on for size because this really is a sort of territory we need to move through with that kind of spirit where we can see what could be possible instead of looking through the lens of impossibility. Look at things through the lens of I'm possible. I can make anything possible through my focus because it really is true. There is major alchemy on offer. But you can't move through this territory, this mutable territory, like a muggle. You got to move through it like a wise, wily wizard, okay? And have some fun with it, right? Don't take it all so seriously. Have some laughs, have some good banter, have some play, bring in a jovial spirit where you can. Sagittarian energy can really help you with that Jupiterian energy because Sagittarius is like the comeback kid. They can take a licking, keep on ticking, and they will find that little point of light that gets through the wound. All right, so a lot can be learned from the Sagittarian archetype at this time. And it was kind of interesting, you know, because with the Chiron energy represented by the centaur, you know, sort of pointing the tip of the, you could say the sword of truth, only it's an arrow in this case, saying, look, this is the action to take. This is the way to find the way through the wound. Ooh, I almost said the rune. Ooh, the runic soul. Ooh, I just got like a lot of sentience around that. You might be getting like a particular symbol coming through for you. Pay attention to symbols that continually show up for you. You're meant to work with those symbols. Now, they could come through a rune, but they don't have to come through the Elder Theodarch. They could also come through any kind of symbol. It's somehow a symbol for you. So pay attention to what comes through for you. And it could come through any kind of iconography. It doesn't have to be coming through a specific lens, all right? So really be open to the symbols that show up on your path. You're meant to work with those symbols. That's wild how that came through the runic soul. Okay, that's a special kind of magic. So pay attention. Pay attention to the glyphs. Pay attention to the runes. Pay attention to the symbols that keep showing up for you. You're meant to work with them. How? That's for you to discover. That's for you to discover. It's very personal to you. It's part of unlocking and tapping the potential of your runic soul. Ooh, I like that. All right, let's check this out. I'm already digging it, man. 4 of fire, yes. Now we get things cooking. Do you see? This is the transformation point. First, you got to gather the lumber, though, before you can get that cauldron of Dagda cooking, okay? So there is work to be done. That's why that cardinal energy is coming through. We really got the Sagittarian energy very, very present here for the mutable sign. Energy associated with this signature that we're reading right now. So what do you got going on in your 9th house? Where do you have Sagittarius? What planet is it in? Very important to check that out, okay? Also, Jupiter placement playing a key role about where the work is to be done to get things cooking. That's why it's really coming through as the point of focus to get through the wound is, yes, to take up the work and to do it joyfully, okay? With an optimistic spirit, to look on the bright side of life, even though it defies the odds, even though it defies this dystopian landscape we're moving through, to embrace a bit of the bard, to thumb your nose at fate, to be a little wily, a little optimistic, maybe even too optimistic. You can get away with it a little bit at this time. If you work with the Uranian energy in the right way, you can get away with pushing the envelope a little bit. Just make sure that you have your sensibilities. You know what I'm saying? When we're moving through the Libra territory, it's important that you're not ruffling feathers. That's not going to do you any good if you stir up drama, or you are picking at people, or you're trying to provoke matters, or you're just letting whatever fly out of your mouth. And I mean, we have to bring it in. Sagittarians can be rather blunt, so we also have to remember that Jupiterian energy makes everything bigger. So really be aware that how you're coming off has a very big impact right now. And be mindful about that, right? Be mindful about that, because you want to get things cooking in the right way. You don't want to, get things boiling over and then you spoil the pot, okay? This energy coming through. This promises some kind of beautiful alignment, though, all right? There's some kind of alignment that wants to come in here. Let's cozy up by that fire. Let's not burn the house down. All right, we do have to remember people are going to be feeling tense, okay? Whenever people are tapping into their deepest wounds, they're already kind of activated. So where you feel activated, where you feel like you're a bit out in the ether, do understand you're not the only one. We're all moving through this energy. So be aware of how you're facing it. Look at us though. Oh my goodness, we're right on track here. I love our collective here. I'm telling you, you all are doing the work, man. You are tapping the source of love. Look at that. Solar, lunar energies in perfect harmony, balanced out completely. I love this. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And right after that energy of the eclipse and moving into the fall equinox, we got this beautiful sort of like passing the baton happening there, where there really is a balance between the sun and the moon, and really coming through sort of like the Virgo Libra energy. Virgo Libra cuspers, your energy is coming in really strong at this time. Also Virgo third decanates, okay, your energy's front and center. There's a little good luck and love coming in here. You might be surprised. You might be surprised when you find there is a way through. There is a way to balance things out. It's quite beautiful. All right. And it is coming in with that Ace of Cups energy. So there is some new emotional opportunity. There's something that's going to pour into you. There's some love that's going to pour in for you. And there's also creative energy. There's a lot of downloads coming in at this time. So if you're tapping into that, make sure you infuse them with a little bit of your love by sharing them with other people. A lot of musing energy being activated and meant to be shared. And then we got something that is really firing you up here. It's making you feel, as you head into Libra season, you're really going to be feeling like, yes, I hold the power in my hands. I'm ready to raise up that wand and call down this transformation that I want to see, to root it in this reality. You are going to be able to tap the source. And do you see there's even the hint of like the sun moon synergy here? So we're entering that time of balance, real potent. This period of the new moon in Virgo, partial solar eclipse, and passing the baton to Libra for the fall equinox on the 22nd. This is a powerful time when you can tap into the source, fill your cup with a whole bunch of love, feel that, yeah, I do belong here. I do have a purpose. I am here for a reason. I got something to share. I feel inspired. I am feeling the love. I feel re-energized. I finally feel like something is balancing out in my life. And I may even be feeling a little lucky, okay? Maybe feeling a little lucky. All right, beautiful energy. Beautiful energy there. Yeah, look, work with your fetch, okay? Work with your fetch. They will help you retrieve that power, right? A fetch is like a little bit of an intermediary. How do you know who your fetch is? Well, some of you who already work alchemical paths, you already have. Some people work with a familiar, okay? Some work with a fetch, but you can also have a fetch come in any form, really. I mean, truly, your familiar could be your fetch too if you work more with cats, okay? But you're not sort of resigned to just those two options. They can come through any animal of empowerment, any animal totem. So also pay attention. You're going to be given a fetch, right? Notice what animal is sort of showing up frequently too. Not just like what glyph, what runic type of symbol, but also what animal is showing up as well, because aligning with this animal's medicine will really help you fetch this empowerment, all right? So you can work your magic. That's a real cool message coming through. King of Earth, right? Coming in strongly with the Virgoan energy. Let's do another cut. I don't know if I did a cut or not. I think I did. I want to do it again. This has been happening, right? There's a lot of messages that are coming in at the time of sunset, because we are moving into that fall energy. So yes, it's about following through with things already set in motion so we can bring them to the point of harvest. But it's also about letting things go. And when you reflect on the sunset, you really get to see how beautiful the closing of things is too, right? It's a really wonderful meditation point. I encourage those who maybe have a hard time doing internal meditation to meditate with the setting sun. And you can even set it in motion and go for a walk at sunset. I love to do that with my Etched, because yes, so many messages are coming in at that time. So many messages. And I'm sure that if you are an early riser, there's probably a lot coming in at sunrise. Usually, if I catch sunrise, it's because I've been burning the midnight oil and I'm still up. I'm about to go to bed, all right? So any way you catch it, you can make it work, all right? Yeah, there's beautiful alignment coming in here, all right? As something comes to a close, there's beautiful alignment that's coming through what has been able to withstand the test of fire, the fire test of truth. It's also making me think of another one of my downloads that I brought in, redemption. Okay, so we'll bring that one in too, all right? I'm going to be sharing some of my old readings that were from this time period that's really wrapping up, because they really are being activated now. I shared one playlist, but I'll make sure to bring in those two videos on this download. Yeah. See, the masks are falling away. The masks are falling away. And it's giving us the courage to rise here, you know, to rise and shine. And we're recognizing what we're truly meant to come into alignment with here. It's really beautiful energy. King of Water. So Piscean energy coming in there in relation to the mutable energy. Whatever this is, it's a personal victory. And it gets our motors running. It gets us heading out on the highway toward our happiness. It's something new. Spirals in here. Some of you may be going on road trips. Some of you may be feeling that you're born to be wild. A little rebellious streak coming through there. This is coming in really strongly with the Gemini energy 6, associated with the Lovers, of course, which was originally known as the Choice. So I don't think you're going to choose to hang out at the crossroads anymore. I think you're fit for the road. We got Athlete here, okay? It's another way you can kind of work with the pent-up energy as well. It will help you stay very clear, focused, help you really be able to hold that power. Is training. You know, training is another form of meditation. All right, really cool. And since we did have the fairy energies come in pretty strongly, I wanted to work with this fairy tarot deck. It's really special. And normally I'm not drawn so much to this sort of more kind of whimsical energy with the mutable sign signature, but I was today. Ooh, there could be an opportunity to head out on the road with someone, but someone here is shy with the 8 of Hearts. They're shy. Look at how he's standing there like, I don't know. And the friend is there saying, come on, you can do it. You can do it. And they're trying to encourage this one to join the other for this ride. And so you may need to leave your shyness behind with the 8 of Hearts here. Okay, coming in with that 8 energy signature, you have the strength. You can do this. You can do this. You may have been shy in the past, but maybe you're, you know, supposed to rise and shine. So see if you can open up to a new perspective here. Somebody may want you to take a road trip with them. Or somebody may want you to give them a chance. Can we just explore the possibility of moving forward? I know we had problems. Is there a new way to kind of iron things out? Is there still a connection we can salvage here? whether that's a romantic connection or a friendship connection or a mentor connection, however that's playing out. Could even be around some kind of work you're doing. Is there something that can be salvaged here, or a creative project? Maybe I need to do it in a new way. I had that experience the other night. I was working on something and working on one of the mini downloads. I got quite a few irons in the fire right now. You should see how many downloads are backlogged. It's pretty wild, and I've been really throwing myself into it. But there was something I was working on, and I was like, I don't need all that. Like, I keep trying to add all this to it, and it doesn't need all that added to it. So it was like really about streamlining and returning to simplicity. Returning to a state of simplicity. And there's a lot of magic in simplicity. That is my magic name that I work with in fairy. That's how I'm known in those parts, as simplicity. And yes, the magic's in the simple things, okay? So things don't need to be so convoluted. And I think that that's what's being sorted through in terms of relationships. And it looks like somebody is saying, look, you know, we don't have to move away from something, but what we do need to move away from was the way we were moving through this, or the way we were moving forward, or just the way we were moving back there. We got to move in a different way. So how can we do that? How can we do that? Coming through with the Piscean energy, Leo energy, very strongly here. How can we do this? How can we transform this so we can move in a way where we're in partnership with each other and we can let the light come through? Somebody had to get hung up here for a bit. They lost some of their magic. They spilled it all out. Maybe spilled it out on the wrong things. Maybe we're wanting to call in something from the wrong place. They had to contemplate their navel for a while to figure it out. But I see their transformation is imminent. See, they're holding that snake medicine there. But they did lose some magic back there. It's like it was wasted or spilled out on the wrong thing. But there's a recognition here coming in of how to move in partnership and share power here. So these power themes have been coming out pretty strongly. It is something that's been showing up quite a bit during this energy we got rolling out here, and I think that's going to continue for some time to come. I mean, it is the nature of Pluto and Aquarius, right? We're in this energy for the long haul. There's going to be like some push-pull stuff that we could get moved into the fray of if we allow ourselves to be swayed. But that's why it's so important to activate the magician within, so you can alchemize those polarizing forces and you can be the center balancing point. It really is the way through. It really is. And it is what will set you on that yellow brick road that leads you into that golden dawn of the Aquarian age. And it's just so much more fun than focusing on all that crap, man. There's a real positive side to the Aquarian age, even though we got Pluto there and it's all around reinvention and exploration and being a little bit rebellious. And that, yeah, that kind of like thumbing your nose at fate. Being daringly optimistic in tricky territory, but thinking, you know what? I do got this hat though, and I do got some magic. And I know I got this Ace of Wands here, so maybe I can pull a rabbit out of the hat, and you very well could. And hey, tricks are for kids, so that's a clue. If you want to be able to pull some tricks out of the hat, you got to have a more youthful spirit. You have to be able to see things as being possible when they seem absolutely impossible. Right? And it really is true. There's a lot of magic coming through. And the more you spot it, the more it multiplies. We're moving through that field of multiplicity. So keep it simple. Simplicity is the key to multiplicity. Ooh, interesting how that came through. 3 of Leaves. Yeah, come on, man. You can't sit here and be bummed out. You're going to spill all the magic out that way. 3 of Leaves. It's the Swords energy. Ouch, it hurts. It's just a delay. There's new things coming your way. Oh my goodness. Okay, all kinds of stuff's wanting to talk. So yes, we're moving through that wound. It's not time to move forward yet. All right, we just had the Chariot come in the reverse. And the Chariot's trying to get to Ragnarok. The Chariot is trying to get to the sun. And the Swarm is hot on the Chariot's tail. And yeah, there are some people that are trying to hold others back from reaching that place of the sun. They're trying to hold the Chariot back from getting to Ragnarok. But that's because of not looking at it through the proper lens. They're looking through a distorted reality tunnel there. And that's the kind of consciousness that can't break on through to the other side and that needs to be transformed. It needs to move into more of a collective sort of consciousness when we're really looking at the exaltation of the energy. And this is how those blessings that Jupiter wants to sprinkle on us pass us by. Cancerian energy coming in here. The Chariot's not ready to move forward yet. Why? Because selfish attitudes here with the Pig. This is the Wands energy coming through. Ace Acorns here. What are you growing here? Okay? You got to make sure you have the right motivation. Now, you know, this can turn to gregariousness. You know, those who are born in the year of the Pig in Chinese astrology are known to be very gregarious people. And we know in Charlotte's web, and that web of creativity is really active at this time. I mean, you know, Charlotte said herself, you know, that's some pig. You know, that is some pig. And it is, you know, coming in with that Ace of Wands energy. And look, there's even that indication there. It looks like he's got on a wizard's hat, okay? But see, some of these alchemists out there, some of these wizards out there, they're tapping the source in such a way where they're just thinking about what works for them. And maybe it is because they're feeling a sense of separation, or maybe they are feeling heartache. But this Chariot needs to get to Ragnarok if we're all going to have victory here. And that kind of energy is coming to an end. Do you see? Coming in with the Death energy. Where is it coming in though? It's coming in with the new moon. Now to me, 13, that is the Scorpio energy. So I feel like this is really speaking of that time is up. This kind of selfish attitude. I'm aboard, pull up the ladder. This is what is closing and will not pass through that gateway of initiation with the Libra new moon on the 21st, right? Yep. We need to move away from this energy. Just let it be like water off a duck's back. You just got to float on that waterway and let it carry you forward. No more grasping at things. No more trying to control the flow. You're not going to be able to do it, man. Not when we got the Reaper up here on the scene, okay? Yes, that's scythe. It will give you your harvest, but there's also times up for those who want to harvest others' energy or want to try to cull fields that are not theirs, that they have grown, all right? Judgment on that. It's like Sisyphus finally gets the boulder to the top, and here you got this little imp wanting to push it back down, you know, cause a delay, cause things to roll back here. This is coming in with Sagittarian energy, okay? It's the Judgment here. Oh no, it's not the Judgment. It's the World. That's interesting how that came in. Okay, maybe it opposes the Sagittarian energy. This is fixed sign energy. The fix needs to come undone. Oh, again, it's pointing to the clue, the way through. Yeah, you got it. You know, you got to be able to stop trying to get a particular boulder up the mountain too when you recognize that it's sort of a pointless feat. You know what I mean? When you get so fixed in your position that you're like, I got to get this boulder to the top, that's when that kind of impious energy can come through to also test our mettle, you know? Well, I'm just going to push this boulder over the cliff. Do you really want it? I mean, the fool would take a flying leap toward it, all right? If it is your purpose, you'll know, because you'll go over the cliff with that boulder. So there could be like a little bit of a testing moment here coming in as things close out. Are you sure? Are you sure it means that much to you? Because it's going to be a lot of work to get this new beginning. It's going to be a lot of work to arrive at that 0 point. This is something we're probably weighing out right now with Mercury opposition Neptune today. Our dreams, something we are really willing to follow through with. Do we have what it takes? Does it mean that much to us? Are we willing to defend it to the end? Okay? Because sometimes these impious influences too. Sometimes it's impious situations or energies at work, or just sort of Murphy's Law kind of moments, or sometimes it's, you know, difficult people you're dealing with. They come as a challenge to also test your mettle. Are you able to keep going even when you deal with this kind of energy? This is something we're going to kind of balance out here. We've got some crossing energy coming in here. Oh, and what do you know? It comes out with the Magician here to the 4 of Acorns. It's reiterating this message. Ponder your orb, okay? Ponder your orb, wizards, before you take action. How you use this power is significant, because there's this beautiful alignment on offer. 4 of Wands kind of energy. Only it's coming through as the 4 of Acorns. So we know that what gets planted here, oh, its roots are deep and it will grow like the mighty oak. That was another download. That was another download that came in. There are so many downloads connected to this mutable energy that are now ready to complete the transformation process, to become what we never dreamed they would be. Ooh, I like this energy though. It's really cool, right? So do be aware, there might be a testing moment that comes in here. And I feel like that wouldn't be unanticipated, because any initiation does bring a moment such as this. And there may be some testing moment that comes in. It could be connected to a fixed sign energy, or just a fixed situation. So Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo. And this could be something echoing back, like I was talking about, like the roots of it. There's something very frustrating. You've been dealing with it, trying to get this thing to gain momentum maybe since the time that Taurus was in the North Node and Scorpio in the South Node, right? There might be a little last gasp of this energy to see, are you going to continue to stay focused on what matters? Or are you going to lose the treasure? Wow. 10 of Bells. This is the Pentacles energy. Got a little bit of this like kind of Capricorn shadow energy. That is truly the devilish energy, okay? Truly the devilish energy, all right? This is what we're trying to figure out. And there could be somebody that's being a little bit devilish here. With the Capricorn energy coming in, 10th house energy, they could be trying to affect your reputation, or trying to affect your influence in the community. Or there might be ways that you're doing this to yourself and sort of projecting it on another, but you might need to look at how you're showing up. In terms of your work, you know, are you doing work that you can really get behind? Do you feel lit up? Are you passionate about it? If you're not, and you're feeling like you're just grinding it out, well, that could be why you haven't seen the reward. Something needs to transform here. We know that the heart space is the way through. So in one way, shape, or form, your heart has to get on board. Otherwise, you're not going to feel satisfied, right? This is key. This is key. This is key. We got to turn that energy around. Also, to reclaim the treasure, you're going to have to dig deep, man. You are. And it's going to take a lot out of you. And we're sort of being put on notice about that. Yes, there's great treasure at the end of the rainbow, at the end of the transformation, when all's balanced out. Yes. And it can be the stuff of dreams you never even dared to dream. How things turn out is quite unexpected. But if you're not willing to do the work, and if you're not willing to bring those shadowy aspects up into the light where you can transmute the energy and you can be conscious about the way you're moving, and if you're not willing to exercise the wisdom that was hard earned from the experiences you've had in the past, you will lose the treasure because you're trying to stay in a position where you're exercising too much fixedness, too much control, and that's a losing hand. A fixed hand is a losing hand. You need to flow like water to enter the waterway. You have to embrace the mutability, the spontaneity, not having such a set plan, having enough structure, that you can have grounding, but know that things are going to be changing. It's going through an evolutionary process right now. We're not at the final resting place, and not by a long shot. So buckle up. We're going to have to learn how to really flow with this energy. We're going to have to learn how to flow with this energy. I mean, you got Pluto. It's one of Scorpio's rulers, right? Fixed energy, but it's still water, right? And there's a little hint there about how to work with that. Well, you got to have sensitivity. Okay, Scorpio is very sensitive, able to really sense what's coming, what's happening beneath the surface, and is able to have what it takes to look into those darker areas of life, to be able to move into that state of mutability as far as the cycles of life. When we look at the house of Scorpio, the 8th house, okay, so that energy is kind of coming through sort of to hint about how to move through this territory a little bit, right? Pay attention, listen, tune in, feel things out. It's very helpful for turning this around, but also be aware when we're looking at that 8th house with Pluto in Aquarius, that energy and that fixed quality. It's like what we do not make conscious, it will rule the roost, and it can cause us to really lose out on a lot at this time. All right. I'm going to do a cut of the deck, cap this off. Oh, I didn't even see it. Look, there's the Hierophant right there. Yes, that is the key. Look at that. Holding the keys. Yes, that is the key. Okay. Also, you might be receiving a key here, a tangible key. I'm hearing it's something that comes through in material reality. It does open up a door of opportunity. It's a yes. And this really does seed something for your future. May give you like nest egg here. Also, it could have something to do with home. I'm also seeing it's also like a key that opens up a lot of knowledge, a lot of magic awakening through this key. Perhaps we need to charm a magical key. I'll create something for that, okay? I'll create something for the collective if you would like to charge up a magic key that opens up any door of true opportunity, all right? I'll create a special session and we'll bring that in before the Libra new moon. That'll be fun, all right? Very cool, very cool. All right, I didn't even notice that. So we got some Taurus energy on the scene there. See, so the fix, see how they're all there in tandem? This is why I brought the elements in. But this is all keys to how to move through mutability, all right? We're going to get the key we need. It's secret, cat medicine, okay? It's secret. It's secret. How do you access it? Well, you got to ponder your orb. You got to learn how to see through the dark with the owl medicine back there. See how Sagittarius is hanging out there. Owl on the medicine wheel. All right. All right, cut the deck to cap this off. Final message. Well, there is a way forward though. I see that you are prepared to Really invest in this, coming through strongly with the Virgoan energy here. We got a Knight of Bells. That's that Knight of Pentacles energy. You definitely got a Spirulou here. So you have both the sword and you got the fire coming in, and you're merging the two, and there is an action you're taking here. And you do feel something is worth defending to the end. So you will be heading forward. You are also shoring up support. You're being practical. You know you have to be in this for the long haul. So you're doing what you have to do to make yourself feel as safe as possible, moving into unknown territory. And that's the best any of us can do, really. And on the other side here, whoa, see? Woo! There's the devil, okay? But the devil is coming out upright, all right? So work with the exalted form of that Capricorn archetype. That is the way through, all right? And the exalted form of the Capricorn archetype does not revere their chains. They do not. Right? They actually know how to hold power in the material world. How? By making the subconscious motivations conscious and mastering the self. So Capricorn can teach a lot about self-mastery, and that's that master maker energy being activated. So look at where you got Capricorn in your chart, what placements you have in Capricorn, what's going on in your 10th house. That is your teacher at this time. That's where you need to harness your self-mastery. So dive into that. And there should be some interesting illumination that comes through. All right. Next up will be the cardinal energy for the collective. And after I get through all the elemental types, we'll start rolling out the individual reads, and we'll go in the order of whatever season we're in at that time. I'm imagining we'll be in Libra season, so we'll be moving into the cardinal energy first. And I like that. I think that'll be an appropriate flow by the time we get through all that. Because once we're at that Libra new moon, we will have read the cardinal energy first. That sets the stage, so the work to be done, like pull yourself up by the bootstraps. This is how we find the way through. This is what we need to set in motion, and really entering into that sort of Capricorn kind of mindset, that sea goat, right? That can find a way through the waterway, even if it's really a rough current, even if there are the big waves of change, the sea goat will find the way through, all right? And then we go from the mutable energy to the fixed. Well, once we hit that place, right? We'll go from the cardinal energy to the fixed, because that Libra new moon that happens on the cusp of Scorpio, it bumps up against that fixed energy. So we'll be looking at, pretty solid energy. So I feel like that's also really speaking to whatever we put in motion here, it's fixed. You know what I mean? It's fixed, as in it's set in place. So, yeah, I just heard set in stone. All right. So, yeah, it is the stuff of your destiny, whatever it is. So make sure you're really setting the right thing in place, that you're not playing your hand in such a way where you wish you could unravel it, because you certainly can unravel, but it's a lot more work to do. Just understand that as you set out here. So yeah, we'll read the cardinal to the fixed energy, and then it'll be great, because we'll close out that next series of these elemental reads with the mutable energy that will help us at that time understand how do we morph what's fixed. If we're in a place where we're like, oh geez, maybe I didn't, head about that the right way. And also, how can I just flow with it better as well too? Okay, so we're going to really work with the reads in this way. I want to really support everybody in their alchemy work on the channel here. And this is a new approach, and it's all kind of being grokked in the moment by me. I got a lot coming in for me about a new way to move forward to really support everybody moving through these dynamic energies. So flow with me, and I think we'll all like where we're led. 1:19:22 on the clock. That's right. We got that sun coming into view. We got Ragnarok coming into view. We have what it takes to take the action to bring about that alchemical magic moment. And it brings alignment for two coming together in a position of mutual empowerment. And when we think of the two coming together, it can be another that you are coming into alignment with that is a star mate of sorts. And we've covered that before. They could be a lover, they could be a teacher, they could be a mentor, they could be an ally that you are meant to share the path with, that your connection creates some kind of growth together, that there's an amplification of the power. But it also could be you coming into alignment with a specific calling, path, a purpose as well. So very potent energies rolling out here. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it plays out. And I'm also tired and need to integrate the energy too. So yes, remember to soften and give yourself space to rest, even as you're enjoying sort of the more spirited side of this energy, because it's not all just activating stuff out there. There is so much magic on offer. So go out in the world and find it.